your studies going on? Children, in the previous class, we have learned about the composition and the structure of atmosphere, is it? And we have learned about different layers of atmosphere, okay? In this class, we are going to learn about the greenhouse effect and the global warming, okay? Greenhouse effect and the global warming. What is the reason for the climate change, okay? And what are the reasons for the temperature? We feel more hot sometimes and sometimes we feel cool, okay? What are the reasons for that? That all things we are going to learn in this class, okay? And first of all, we are going to learn about greenhouse effect. What is called greenhouse effect? When we see, we are receiving the sunlight, the light from the sun, is it? So what happens? The sun rays that falls on the surface of the earth, okay? And the sun rays that falls on the surface of the earth, that heats the earth's surface. And what happens when the rays falls on the surface of the earth? This heat will be reflected back to the atmosphere. We know that there is a blanket of air surrounded the earth. Okay, blanket of air surrounded the earth. That is called what? Atmosphere. Okay. Now what happens? This heat that falls on the surface of the earth will be reflected back to the atmosphere. And when we learn about atmosphere, atmosphere contains different gases. What are the different gases? Carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, water vapor, chlorofluorocarbon. Okay, so these are different gases found on the surface of the earth. Okay, now what happens? The heat, when it falls on the surface of the earth and when it reflects back to the atmosphere, these gases, some of the heat will be trapped by the gases that exist in the atmosphere. Okay, some of the gases will be trapped. The heat will be trapped by the gases which is found in the atmosphere, and some amount of heat will be released to the space. Okay. Now what happens? In the atmosphere, we know that there are water vapors and everything, is it? And because of that, these gases prevent the earth from the ultraviolet rays. Okay, and there will be a glass of wall surrounded the earth. Okay, in the atmosphere, that is called greenhouse. Okay, this prevents the heat of the sun that falls from the sun on the earth. Okay, that's why we call these gases as greenhouse gases. Okay, now we understood why we call this greenhouse gases and what are the effects of this greenhouse. Okay, what is the effect? The sun rays that falls on the earth. Okay, and the earth will be heated up. Now the heat will be radiated back to the atmosphere. Okay, and these gases found in the atmosphere, the heat will be trapped in the atmosphere. Okay, and some amount of heat will be released to the space. Now we will see what are the reasons for the greenhouse effect. Okay, and mainly we can see there is a gas called CFC. Okay, CFC means chlorofluorocarbon. Okay, and we'll see GHGs. Okay, what is GHGs? It is greenhouse gases. Okay, greenhouse gases. What are the greenhouse gases? It is carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbon and water vapor, different things. Okay, these are called what? Greenhouse gases. Why we call this as greenhouse gases? because these greenhouse gases protect the earth, okay, protect the harmful rays of the sun, okay, protect the earth from the harmful rays of the sun. Now we will see what are the causes for the increase of GHS, okay, what are the reasons for what are the causes for the increase of GHGs, okay, the greenhouse gases, okay. What is GHGs? Greenhouse gases, okay. Now there is an increase of greenhouse gases, okay, increase of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide, methane and chlorofluorocarbon. What are the reasons for the increase of the greenhouse gases? The first reason is increase of industries, okay, the increase of industries. And the second reason is there is an increase of deforestation. Because of deforestation, also the greenhouse gases increases. Okay, deforestation. Okay, the first reason is because of increase of industries, the industrial smoke and everything that cause the greenhouse gases. Second thing, when we see deforestation, deforestation means cutting of trees. Okay, cutting of trees also cause the greenhouse gases, the increase of greenhouse gases. How it increase? There will be less oxygen. Okay, when we cut the trees. Okay, there also will be different other effects that cause the increase of greenhouse gases. And the third thing, when we see increase of pollution, okay, atmospheric pollution. Okay, because of pollution. The third reason is atmospheric pollution, okay, and how this atmospheric pollution takes place? Because of the emission of smoke that is from vehicles, industries, factories and other burning of fossil fuels, okay, different other things. The next reason is increase of natural disasters, okay, because of the natural disasters. Okay, because of the natural disasters also there is increase of greenhouse gases. And when we see the other thing, the smoke from the factories, okay, smoke from the factories, that also affect and it cause the increase of greenhouse gases. And other thing is aeroplane, the smoke that comes from the aeroplanes that fly on the sky, okay. The next thing is aeroplane, okay. Okay, the other reason is forest fire, okay. What's the other reason? Forest fire. Okay, and other thing is there is a rapid destruction of forest. Okay, rapid destruction of forest due to agriculture and housing. Okay, the destruction of forest due to agriculture and housing. These are the reasons why there is an increase of greenhouse gases. Okay, what are the reasons for the increase of greenhouse gases? Forest fire, industries, deforestation, okay, increase of forest fire, increase of industries, increase of deforestation, increase of atmospheric pollution, and increase of natural disasters, increase of smoke from the factories, and also aeroplane that fly in the sky. Okay, apart from that, there is also deforestation or removing the forest for agriculture and for other purposes that causes the increase of greenhouse gases. Now, what happens because of the increase of greenhouse gases? The greenhouse gases makes the earth more warmer. Okay, so if the greenhouse gases increase, what happens? Automatically the temperature of the earth will be increasing. Okay, and what happens because of the temperature increasing? The temperature increase may cause or affect the earth in different manner. Okay, and we'll see now what is global warming. Okay, we have seen about the greenhouse effect and what are the reasons for the greenhouse effect and how this greenhouse effect happens. Okay, and what is GHGs we have seen, is it? Now we are going to see about global warming. Okay, what is global warming? Global warming is the increase of heat or the temperature on the earth's surface is called global warming. Okay, what is global warming? Global warming is the increase of heat or the temperature on the surface of the earth is called global warming. And we will see there are a lot of reasons for the global warming. We have seen in the previous topic, is it? What are the reasons? Like increase of industries, the smoke that comes out of the industries, the burning of fossil fuels, natural disasters like earthquake and volcanic eruption. Okay, these all things cause the global warming. Scientists say that if the earth temperature or the increase of greenhouse gases may increase the temperature from 1.5 centigrade to 4.5 centigrade in the forthcoming year 2030. Now we will see what are the reasons for global warming. The first reason for global warming is burning of fossil fuels. What is fossil fuel? The fuels like petrol, coal, okay, these all things comes under fossil fuel. Now, the first reason is burning of fossil fuels. Okay, causes for global warming is first one is what? Fossil fuel. Okay, burning of fossil fuels. The second reason is the smoke that is bleaching from the factories. Factories bleaching the smoke that cause the atmospheric pollution that again causes the increase of greenhouse gases which affect the earth, which may increase the temperature of the earth. So the second reason is smoke that comes from the factories. Okay, and the third reason is aeroplane that fly in the sky. Okay, airplanes. And the fourth reason is forest fire. Okay, forest fire is also it can be human attitudes or natural disasters. Okay, forest can be fired in both the ways, both by the human attitudes and by the natural manner. Okay, so forest fire. And the next thing when we see cattle rearing, increase of cattle rearing. Okay, increase of cattle rearing that affect the increase of methane. Okay, because of the cattle emit methane. Okay, that also affect the earth. It also cause the global warming. And the next thing, when we see rapid destruction of forest for agriculture and industries. Rapid destruction of forest. Okay, so what are the reasons for global warming? Burning of fossil fuels, the factories bleaching smoke, and aeroplane flying in the skies, and forest fire, and also rapid destruction of forest for agriculture and other purposes. Okay, and apart from that, we can see cattle rearing. Okay, cattle rearing, and also expansion of towns and cities also affect the earth. It also becomes the cause for the global warming. Now we will see what are the impacts of global warming. Okay, global warming has mostly the negative impacts. Okay, what are the negative impacts, or what are the impacts of global warming? The first one, because of the global warming, what happens? The global warming will cause the climate change. Okay, the climate condition will be changing because of the global warming. If the climate change, what happens? The climate change may affect the agriculture mainly. Okay, if the climate change affect the agriculture, what happens? The farmers cannot, or the people cannot cultivate crops on seasonally. Okay, seasonal crops cannot be cultivated. Okay, there will be change in the food production. Okay, and not only there will be change in the food production, there is also slow food production, and the yield will be less because of the climate change. Why? There won't be a proper rain. Okay, because of all the food production, or all agricultural events depends upon the rain. Okay, so if the rain is not there, what happens? Automatically there will be shortage of food. And the second impact, what is the second impact? Climate change will create disruptions in the weather pattern. Okay, it may cause the disturbances in the weather pattern. What is the weather pattern? We have different seasons. Is it? What are the different seasons? Summer, winter, okay, rainy season, autumn. Okay, so different seasons are there. This climate change disturb the weather pattern. If the weather pattern change, what happens? There is also severe famine. Okay, in some areas will be getting little rain, and other places will be facing famine. There will be drought in the other regions. Okay, so weather pattern, when the weather pattern change, the earth, it loses its fertility, loses its production. Okay, and the next thing, when we see the global warming, the climate change also affect the melting of ice cubes, icebergs. Okay, especially when we see the North Polar region and the South Polar region, the Arctic region and the Antarctic region, there will be frozen ice always. Okay, and because of the global warming, what happens? These icebergs, it started melting. Okay, and it joins with the mainland. When the icebergs melts, what happens? The sea level may increase. Okay, now when the sea level increase, what will happen? When the sea level increases, the land level decreases. Okay, some of the land will be swamped by the ocean water. Okay, for example, especially Bangladesh, Thailand, okay, Malaysia, and in USA, the southern part of USA, also it's will be affected because of the ocean water. Okay, if the ice melts continuously in the same manner, when the temperature increases, what happens? The land level decreases and ocean level increases. And another reason, what will happen because of the global warming? The climate change also, it will be the risk for the wildlife. Okay, it may affect the wildlife. Okay, because due to certain reasons, there will be migratory birds and animals. They migrate from place to place based on the climate. Okay, if the climate changes, if the weather pattern changes, what will happen? It will affect all plants, both plants and animals. Okay, and the next thing, when we see the climate change may affect hurricane, tornado, sudden floods and heat waves. It also caused because of the climate change which may affect the earth. Okay, these all things happens because of the global warming. And not only that, when the temperature increases, we know that in the oceans there will be ocean currents. Okay, when the temperature increases, what happens? The changing of temperature cause the changes in the ocean, flow of ocean currents. When the flow of ocean currents change, what will happen? It may affect again the seasons, the weather patterns. Okay, it may affect the earth again. Okay, so these are the different impacts of global warming. Okay, now what are the impacts we have seen? Main impact of global warming is climate change. Okay, now this climate change also affect the weather pattern. With the climate change affect the earth in different ways that we have seen. Listen, affect the earth, the frozen region may melt and the sea level increase and land level decreases. And it also affect the wildlife. It is not only affecting the wildlife, it also affects, it may causes hurricane, tornado, flood, okay, sudden flood and heat waves that affect the earth. Not only that, there will be a change in the flow of ocean current that affect the earth. Now we will see how we can reduce the global warming. Okay, there are certain things when we do, this global warming can be controlled. Okay, since the most of the reasons for the global warming is it is human attitudes. Okay, so what we have to do? We have to change our lifestyle. Okay, when we change our lifestyle, there will be chance for reducing the global warming. Now we will see what are the reasons for what are the ways to reduce the global warming. What are the ways how we can reduce the global warming? First of all, instead of using the fossil fuels, we have to use the natural gases, the CNG gases, okay, for the vehicle. That may reduce the global warming. Okay, burning of fossil fuels cause the emission of carbon dioxide, more carbon dioxide, which makes the earth warm. Okay, so what we have to do? We have to reduce. We have to use only the natural gases. And the second way is when we construct the building, we have to use bamboo or recycled metals and organic paints. Okay, when we use all these things for construction, it may control the global warming. Okay, and the third reason, we have to use the energy, the solar energy which is received from the sun instead of using the heat energy. Okay, instead of using heat energy, we have to use the solar energy. And also in our homes, we can use CFL bulbs instead of using other bulbs. Okay, in these ways, what we can do, we can control or reduce global warming. Okay, now we will see what is the ozone layer in the stratosphere. Okay, what are the uses of stratosphere and how this ultraviolet rays are controlled or prevented in the layer of stratosphere. Okay. Okay, there are 5 layers in the atmosphere: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. Okay, among these 5 layers, we can find the stratosphere. Stratosphere is the second layer of the earth. Okay, stratosphere is the second layer of the earth. It is located from 20 to 40 kilometers away from the surface of the earth. Now, what is the magic that takes place in the stratosphere? Okay, we know that the other name of stratosphere is ozonosphere. Okay, why this stratosphere is called ozonosphere? Because ozonic gases are found in this layer, which reduce or which prevent the earth from the harmful rays of the sun. Okay, that's why we call this layer as ozonosphere. Okay, now what happens because of the ultraviolet rays, if the rays that falls directly on the surface of the earth? Okay, these rays, we know that it is harmful rays. Okay, these rays affect the human being. These rays causes sunburn, okay, cataract and birth deformation, plant growth. It may affect the plant growth on the surface of the earth. Okay, so in that way, this stratosphere is helpful for us. Okay, because it protects the earth from the harmful rays of the sun. Now we will see what ozone layer depletion. Okay, we have seen there is greenhouse gases. What are the greenhouse gases? It is carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane and chlorofluorocarbon. When these gases increase, what happens? We learn that these gases trap the sunlight. Okay, since the more GHGs gases are found, the more it makes the earth more warmer and temperature increase. It causes the temperature increase in the atmosphere. And what happens when the forest will be depleted, or when there will be deforestation? When the deforestation takes place, there won't be less oxygen. There will be less oxygen and there will be chance for increase of carbon dioxide. Okay, there won't be any process that happens to purify air or anything. Okay, so these all things may cause what? The depletion of ozone layer. And when we see burning of harmful fossil fuels, okay, burning of fossil fuels also it may affect, it cause the depletion of ozone. Okay, it may cause the depletion of ozone. Where is ozone found? It is in the second layer of the atmosphere, from 20 to 40 kilometers away from the surface of the earth. So children, we have learned in this class the greenhouse effect and how this greenhouse effect happens, what are the reasons for the greenhouse effect, and also we have seen the global warming, what are the reasons for the global warming, we have seen the impacts of global warming, and also we have seen the ozone layer in the stratosphere and how this depletion takes place. What are the reasons for the ozone layer depletion in this class? Okay, here we end the class. Study your questions well and prepare for your test. Okay, we will meet again in the next class. Thank you, children.